For more now, I'm joined by our very own CBS News investigative reporter, Graham Cates, and CNET senior producer, Dan Patterson, who joins us here. So, Graham, I want to talk to you first. This video, the manifesto, clearly it was meant to reach a wide audience.
Yeah, that's definitely what it looks like. It wasn't just the posting the link where he said, you can watch this live, but it was the style of writing in what we're calling the manifesto. Mm-hmm. It's indicative of a kind of post that's popular, for lack of a better word, in the troll community of the far right. We can't actually say what that type of post is called because it has an obscenity in the name, but it had all the hallmarks of this. And this is kind of posting a massive amount of content, much of which is kind of ironic, but you'd only get the irony if you were in that community. And it's supposed to evoke emotional responses in people, and that the people who get the irony get to laugh at the people who have had emotional responses to it. And in this case, the things that are supposed to evoke the emotional responses, his manifesto had references to people and events and leaders and countries all over the world, in essence, essentially driving headlines in different places in all the corners of the world, so that he was able to control the narrative in some ways to his own mass murder. And then when his community, his friends on the internet watch this coverage around the world, they can kind of chuckle at us falling for this post that he made.
I want to ask you, Dan, you know, apparently he shouted, subscribe to PewDiePie at one point. What does that mean?
So PewDiePie is one of the world's top YouTubers. Now, he has disavowed this attack, but to understand this slogan, you need to understand the meta. And by meta, I mean multiple layers. The superficial layer is simply a competition between PewDiePie and a rival channel. Many of his supporters were saying, hey, let's beat this rival channel. However, in 2017, PewDiePie was linked to anti-Semitic statements. The Wall Street Journal did a number of reports about his statements, and since then, the rallying cry, subscribe to PewDiePie, has served as a rallying cry for white nationalists who also rally around PewDiePie. Now, once again, the YouTuber has said, look, I disavow these white nationalists. However, that rallying cry has served as a magnet to his channel.
You know, the thing is, guys, there's so many platforms out there now with social media, right? So how do you counter?
Well, the challenge is that many of these social platforms were built for speed and virality as opposed to safety and to double-check content. Everyone kind of benefits from this system, certainly the technology companies, but us as users as well. Media companies benefit from viral posts that are intended to be a normal post, like a news post. However, many people have been able to kind of figure out how the algorithms work and what causes people to click and share content. So we're in a very challenging situation where these platforms were maybe not intended to be weaponized, but the facts on the ground are that many people have figured out how to weaponize and use these platforms for disinformation and to serve what Graham referenced, these particular types of trolling and posts.
It's kind of interesting, too, because the more people are cracked down on these platforms, the more they kind of revert to these even smaller groups where the anger and the distrust is flourishing.
So do you feel they go underground, or is it just a smaller platform at that point?
Underground probably is right. I mean, they go onto 8chan. And other networks, there is certainly a sense of victimization by many of these people. They feel as though they are being censored and targeted by media companies and by the large technology firms.
All right, well, thank you both for joining us. Graham Cates, Dan Patterson, thank you for your time.